So at some point, we'll get to some winners and losers in a different way, but let's
We're going
start
to break
here.
down Roy Lopez signing?
Well, he said goodbye to Arizona, so, great signing here. Let's get to some quarterback news.
Lions.
Yeah, nobody cares.
I'm joking.
Russell Wilson has now left Cleveland and is on his way to New York for his next meeting. But more importantly, there's another team in the mix for Aaron Rodgers. That team, the Minnesota Vikings. They are taking a look at it and will talk to his team about maybe bringing him to Minnesota. Your thoughts?
Do you want to go first?
I'll go first. It's smart on their part. It's a ready-made team. He can help you win immediately. And instead of handing the keys to JJ, if you saw what Sam Darnold did, Rodgers is a better QB. He's weird. We all can attest to that. But, man, with all of those weapons, I think it would be very smart for Minnesota to at least make a pitch for a one-year deal, give JJ another year to learn the system, and just kind of go for it. That's Minnesota's way of going all in if they get that.
They could win the division. I'm not going to be a chicken like Rico. They bring in Aaron Rodgers, they could win the division.
Just mean and hurtful today.
Well, you know what? They could win the division. I don't care if Lion fans get all bent out of shape. Grow up. You do not want that. Going from a rookie who played service academy football at Michigan or Aaron Rodgers. Oh, but he wasn't very good with the Jets. He died 4 plays into day one, and then that team was awful last year.
Right. And then I just look at what Darnold did, and most don't consider him to be a good quarterback, but he had all the weapons, all the toys, and they were fun to watch. So Aaron Rodgers is a gigantic step above Sam Darnold. Yeah, it would be
a disaster.
Minnesota saying, we're trying to win a Super Bowl.
Well, let's get to the Adam Schefter portion of the Aaron Rodgers news. Because he was on a podcast talking about Aaron Rodgers, and he just decided to rant. To me, this shouldn't be hard right now. Like the Steelers want you. The Giants want you. We're seeing players across the league make decisions. Make a decision. What does it matter to you?
He doesn't have to. Who the hell is Adam Schefter? In the grand scheme of the football universe of actual football people, he's not a pimple on an elephant's ass.
He's the source. And it sounds like Schefter wants to go on vacation, and he can't do this until Aaron Rodgers says where he wants to go.
Wow. So, he's a quarterback.
And I was about to say,
there are 3 jobs available. He's putting the bidding against each other.
It's why, because, look, either give me the exclusive of where you're going or do something. I don't want to keep looking at my phone constantly asking people, hey, did you sign Aaron? Did you sign Aaron? But yeah, he wants to be that insider, and it sounds like he's got someplace to be, and Aaron is just holding him up.
There is another team in the mix for Cooper Kupp. It is the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, according to Adam Schefter, are in and watching out for Cooper Kupp. And according to other reports, he won't take a long time to make a decision. He wants to make a decision quickly.
What about it?
He just wants to make a decision quickly. Denver Broncos are in on him now.
Whatever. If it's a 1-year deal, I'm not going to slander anybody. If you give Cooper Kupp 2, 3, 4 years, you're out of your mind. 1 year, prove it, pay you $10 million, come on in. He's great at work in the middle of the field, sure-handed, got to stay healthy. But, yeah, man, I'm not going to slander it. I wouldn't be mad if the Lions brought him in. Like, honestly.
Even though his numbers are declining.
1-year deal. Okay. And when you're going all in, you go all in,
that's
right?
Fair.
I don't know.
So let's get to some winners and losers, but in a different way, because a lot of people have this team as a winner, but I'm not quite seeing it yet, and that is the New England Patriots. Yes, they spent a lot of money to upgrade their defense, but where are the improvements offensively? I still call them a loser, not a winner, because of that.
Rico?
I'm not really understanding the loser part. David, I guess
They have no weapons for Drake May.
They still
no protection.
But here's the thing, though. You got a high draft pick. You have still money, and there's receivers. Now, they're not the top-notch receivers, but there are guys like the Cooper Kupps that you could go and get, and you could also draft. So they're setting themselves up. Are you talking about, okay, they're going to make the playoffs and win the Super Bowl? No, but I think they're winners because looking at what they were this time last year, I think that they made giant steps forward. That there's progress there with the money that they have and the high draft pick. They're not looking at a quarterback. They're going after the best player available. I could see how they're a winner. I don't like doing this winners and losers stuff this early, but I can't say that they're a loser.
They're a loser. Him and I are just going to disagree on everything today. You had $120 million in cap space, and you got a rookie quarterback, and you've managed to bring in Kenny on the offensive side of the ball. And I understand. You're right. They can draft. It's the worst wide receiver draft maybe ever. Well, you can make a trade. Who? Look, DK got traded. T. Higgins, I don't know what's going to happen. Now, if they land T. Higgins, the whole thing flips. But you had one job. You got to help your quarterback. I don't know, man. I got nothing for you. But, hey, they overpaid Carlton Davis, so there's a win.
So I'm going to go here. Again, I'm different, so I'm always different. So everyone lists the Raiders as a winner. I'm going to list Antonio Pierce as the loser. Here's why. Yes, he got fired, but they did not address quarterback at all last year, and they did that immediately in the first offseason for Pete Carroll. Didn't help Antonio at all. Knew he was going to have a bad season, and you still fire him. Loser, Antonio Pierce.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it comes with the new coach. You could say the same thing about the Bears.
Well, why didn't he get a new quarterback,
because
new coach last year?
I think with Pierce, they saw, okay, he's going to be here for a while. Pete Carroll is like, guys, I'm old. I got maybe about 3 seasons in me. If we can't do it right now, don't hire me. But if you hire me, we got to make the moves. We got to get the quarterback. We got to get all the pieces in place before I walk out into the sunset.
Yeah, I mean, when a guy's 75, you don't have a choice. I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, right. Pierce is like, he's young. Okay, we're going to think the long game.
The problem is Antonio was coaching like a player, and you can't really get away with that. There were a lot of reports about organizational problems with leadership, calling out of players, how he handled that Devontae Adams thing. It just is what it is, man. You got to make the transition from being a player to being a coach. Dan Campbell's done it beautifully. He still identifies with his players, but he is clearly an authority figure. Mm-hmm. He is not one of them. So, whatever, man. Look, the Raiders are rudderless. What are you going to win with Rico's best friend, Geno Smith? A whole bunch of nothing. When you look in your locker room and you see Geno Smith as your quarterback, you go full Amon-Ra.
Kenny, could you please go get me some Kevlar? Because I'm just taking shots over here.
Hey, David, we got Geno as our quarterback. That's what people's reaction is if Geno's your quarterback.
Okay.
Either that or the Paul Woods in Ottawa.
Why is he getting slander?
Because he sucks.
He won games. He's gone to the playoffs.
Yep, not last year, didn't.
Sure didn't.
Just good enough to lose.
And this last one, I'm just going to be selfish because
you know what? You shouldn't have had that hot sauce pre-show. That's the problem.
That stuff was spicy, man.
Yeah, so are you.
This next one gives credit to what we were talking about yesterday. Lions fans, listen. They are calling you a loser because the division has gotten tougher. I agree with this. We talked about it yesterday. Simple,
how
right?
dare you? Let Brad cook. All we got to do is get healthy. I mean, I don't know what to say. It could work. I just don't think they've done all they can do. So I'm not going to yell and scream about players they can't trade for. It's not their fault with Myles Garrett. And right now, reports around the league are Bengals are acting like idiots about what they're asking for Trey Hendrickson. Teams are willing to pay the contract. I'm not going to knock Brad Holmes. You can't trade for a player who's priced ridiculously. But in the overall, have the Lions gotten better? As Paul Woods would say,
I don't think they got better, David, but I can't say that they're a loser either because the position, as Mike just said, the position that they really need, they couldn't make a deal. They couldn't make a trade. They couldn't get anything done. And it wasn't like there was these great people out there in free agents that can just like, oh, we're going to get this guy. They could add some depth pieces, and there's still a few pieces out there that they could. Like I said, I'm looking at Dante Fowler, like he would look nice in a Lions uniform, third down specialist type of thing. But I guess because people outside of the city don't see the value in re-signing all your players who were injured, that's where it looks like, well, you know, why are you bringing him back? Why are you bringing him back? If you're Brad, you're hoping that it works. You're hoping that they stay healthy, but you didn't make that big splash, and you're so close to a title. And I think that's where people are like, well, you know, you didn't make that final push. You didn't go find your Saquon to get you to the next step.
Yeah, they're a loser. Come on, dude. Based on the publication said it. That's all I'm saying. That is in football today.